Should we call the meeting to order?
Your boss.
All right, we'll do that. Number 2, we'll need approvals, additions, corrections to the minutes of the following meetings. Before I go on, I believe Rick Burdan is excused for today, and John is going to be a little bit late. John Bergen. So 2.1, regular commission meetings held September 14th, 2016. Somebody can make a motion?
I make a motion we approve it as written.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? If not, all in agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
2.2, special commission meeting held October 4th, 2016.
Tom, I don't know how to say this, but I really, if we could wait just a little bit for John. There's a thing in 2.2, and I'm sure he'd be interested in seeing how it's written there.
Okay, you have, well, how about this? Since you have, what do you see the problem?
Well, there is not a problem, but no, actually, it isn't. He's the one that had the naval, and originally the naval was for the budget, or for the ceiling, but that's been changed and cleared up, correct? So this is for the whole budget.
This is for the whole budget?
Yeah, okay, and I'm sure he'll go along with it. Because that part was changed.
All right, well, there's 3 of us anyway.
Yeah. I make a motion, we
Okay.
second.
We have a motion, would somebody like to second?
I'll second
Is there any other discussion? If not, all in agreement, please say aye. Aye. All right, there's no action items today. Department update, safety committee. Any comments on safety committee? If not, line superintendent report. Okay, First Street South and the Expressway. I take it you're taking all those poles down on the...
Yep.
I know I talked to you guys a couple, and then that's going, is that going also down Riverwood, along the Expressway, down where all the poles are there and
Yes.
connecting?
That'll all be underground.
Oh, okay. And how far are you from completion?
Oh, probably a week, less than a week. Cleaning up your neighborhood.
I know, I'm really happy. It looked like, well, on First Street, it looked like a power station with all the poles,
Yeah.
hanging with wires, so that looked a lot better there. Any other questions?
Now, I'd like to make one comment. When you look at other projects and what he's done, I think it's remarkable what the line crew outfit's doing.
They seem to be a nice bunch of guys, and they always, like you said, they always, if you ask them questions, they're always very kind and considerate and answer your question, and,
I think it's a reflection on the leadership, too.
yeah, must be. If nothing else with the line superintendent's report, how about the water department operations?
Adam is here for Dale if there are any questions, so
All right.
he's off chasing elk somewhere.
All right, if there's no questions, how about the office manager's report?
Continued good receivables and some nice recovery.
Yeah, real happy with a couple of years that we've been utilizing that state debt collection as our primary state source instead of TRIP, and it's worked out really well.
I still think the 1,000 disconnections are,
Incredible.
yeah, that's a lot of people. And it really didn't make that much, because most of them are reconnected, what I assume.
Yeah, the what we call our master disconnect list, which is a list of properties that stay off, it's been pretty consistently around 50. So I guess that means in excess of 950 out of those 1,000 paid to be reconnected at some point.
When is there a point where the disconnections are going to?
Yeah.
Is that November or December?
We're in our last regularly scheduled round of disconnects now. We'll spend the last week of October cleaning up some loose ends, and then effective November 1st, we'll be unable to disconnect residential electric.
Okay.
So we'll switch our focus then to commercial electric and residential water.
Then do you have to reconnect all those that are disconnected on the first?
Regulations state that we have to reach out to them and contact them, essentially to determine whether or not there's any kind of threat for life or that type of thing. We'll make every effort to get everybody back on within reason.
As an FYI, Joel, and let me know that the water contact letters are going to be sent to the landlords here, what, later this week, or they already went out?
It'll be in the mail Friday.
Okay.
So shut the cell phone.
Exactly.
Numbers look about the same. The revenue is down probably about 10 grand from last year.
Any other questions? If not, let's go to the Director of Finance report.
The question I had here was, we're seeing improved revenue. Is that volume related, or is that related?
It is volume. I mean, the summer was warmer than last year, so there's an increase in both electric and the water.
Okay. And then on your employee self-serve, could you explain that a bit?
Sure. There's a number of features that it can do. The two we're primarily using it for is for employees to get their paycheck information, so their pay stub goes to kind of like this portal where they can pull it anytime they want to. It also allows them to enter their time via the app or the computer. So the electric crew were rolled out to, during September. I believe things are going fairly well. I mean, there's a few small hiccups, but things are going well. This week, Friday, we have it scheduled for the water crew to work with them and sit down and do that. We're, anticipating it doesn't take, maybe a minute or two more than doing a paper time sheet, so it's not a lot of time, but then my staff can focus more on auditing and verifying the information, making sure it's correct as opposed to doing the data entry.
Trying to get another step away from paper, although
Terrible thing.
I knew that was coming.
Makes me feel bad.
I have one request. I don't know if the other commissioners feel this way, but, you have a real nice synopsis that's short for the P&L report, about the water and electric. It would be nice if you could put those graphs in that report right after your report so we could ask you a question about it, right? Rather than going back into the regular P&L report.
Okay. Yeah, we can make that switch, so we'll do that going forward.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Are there any other questions of Jeff? If not, the information systems administrator.
Sure you want to say something?
The AMI communications upgrade, that's just, tell me what that is. Is that, are you going to the, getting away from the radio to the?
Yeah. Yeah, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get rid of the radio systems because they run on an unlicensed band, so anybody can use it.
Yeah,
And every other month or so, I have to rearrange the frequencies it uses just
I
to get the communication back. And sometimes it doesn't come back until a couple weeks later, and then all of a sudden it opens back up again.
really?
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get away from that and start using the fiber, utilizing the fiber that Todd's run for his substations and his SCADA use, and use some of that to clear up this AMI communication.
Isn't the, part of the AMI with the meter reading also?
That's what AMI is, it's the meter reading.
And that's just, before you're just using a radio frequency, and how does that work with, going with the fiber?
Yeah, so the way it works is all the meters communicate back to what's called a collector.
Okay.
So, collector sits on a pole somewhere strategically in our system. We've got 18 of them total. And all the meters talk back to one of those collector units. So what we're doing is the communication piece between the collector and our building here, that's the part that we're replacing.
I see. Okay.
And that's how the fiber will work. It'll hit as many of these 18 sites as we can, and then we'll figure something else out, whether it's a landline or a cellular communication for the rest of them.
Okay.
Sorry.
Are there any other questions? Conservation manager report?
Under the WWTP, was there a decision on the lights?
Not yet, John. I know that Sean and the Focus on Energy rep has given Mr. Neitzel, I think, 2 or 3 different options on the lighting in different areas of the facility, and I'm sure for him it will more than likely be a budget item for next year that he's considering it.
Okay.
Has OSC done anything to move forward?
Not too much. I know Sean's regularly talking with him, and they had some questions about a cat bank this month, and so he's run a few studies to let them know what the economics would be, but they haven't reached a decision on it yet.
Do we know if it says, save $10,000, is that actually a positive return on investment, or is the investment pretty substantial?
Do we want to share it or not?
I don't know. That's what I was contemplating. Why don't we go offline and talk about that?
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, Director of Engineering and Electrical Operations.
A lot of fantastic work in terms of system improvement. I'm sure you've Jackie, answer this. What is the reliability result?
Well, I always run the numbers usually January 1st for the year, so I don't have any information at this point, but I will in 2 months. Yeah.
Your estimate?
From my pins on my boards, I would say that we're about half of the outages that we had last year, so I think we're doing pretty good.
And I don't know that the year before's weren't really system related, and we just had a bad, crazy year as far as freak incidents and acts of God, so to speak. But this year, we've had a few storms, but that's pretty much about it. So hopefully they're a lot better, yeah.
Yep.
Any other questions? If not, general manager's report.
Just a tip of the hat to Jim for saving us all money with rate negotiations and so on.
I just talked to Jeff about that a little bit. There was an article in the Milwaukee paper this week about some complaints of high energy costs industrial-wise, and so, yeah, anytime you can get a savings or a payback, so unfortunately, not enough people recognize that.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job. Escanaba,
Yeah.
I take it that's a problem because it's out of state?
It's not a problem for Glue to serve the load. It's more of getting them comfortable with it moving forward. So we've been working with them the past few months. Now, we already provide MISO services for them and sells them capacity on an annual basis. You gotta have capacity and energy in order to serve the load.
So do you administer that somehow, or does MISO administer the load? Does that come from Great Lakes Utility through MISO?
Yes, I mean, we put a load forecast together for a daily load forecast for every load that Glue serves. And then if there's a variation, significant variation from that load profile or load schedule, then Glue has to pay a small penalty for that. But they're, at this point, they've been really spot on as far as the load analysis and forecast.
So are they soon to hook up with Glue?
We'll see. We're waiting on a response from them yet.
Okay. And what about MAUW?
I don't know what's going on there. I can only assume that me and Trissoni, who's now the president of MAUW, had played a little phone tag this morning, so I might have more information if we'd have hooked up. But I'm assuming that there's a board meeting later this month in Rapids of MAUW, and I'm assuming that he's waiting to get board approval for the announcement of the executive director. At least I haven't heard that there's been any issues getting your offer out and stuff like that, but I don't know for sure. But it should be very soon, I would think.
Does that Escanaba have build
They do?
capacity?
They do? Yeah. But they're still, their load even with the mill, I think, is still not as big as Rapids, our load. I think that a lot of that stuff is moved away from Escanaba to where there's just a small mill presence there now.
It's still a pretty large mill.
Is it? Well, maybe they're,
But they have a lot of their own generation.
yeah, that's probably it then. I would like to give congratulations and kudos to Sean Reimer and the rest of the employees for Public Power Week last week. I think it was a rounding success. Typically, in the past years we've done this, we've had 200 to 250 people come through. I guess there was upwards of close to 500 that went through the place last Thursday, and we were still getting bucket truck rides after dark. So
I would have came later out
so I appreciate all the employees' help and volunteering their time and making it work.
I was not able to make that, but I heard just off the street, several positive comments, I really appreciate it.
Ted outdid himself on the food too, that was a.
Think about grainy.
I thought everything was real nice. It was a nice event. That's good. It's good. Review of accounts payable.
And before we get to that, I've got, with the sequence of Jeff's financials here, I get to that before the accounts. Other water revenue appears to be quite a variance there. What's the story on that?
The other water revenue,
Yeah, it says other water.
that we budgeted 70,000,
Yep.
but we recorded 215 so far.
Yes.
Okay, this is the one adjustment we have to do at year end for the joint meter allocation with the sewer department. So everything is booked to this other water revenues, and then we do the adjustment at the end of the year, and that's when we reduce expenses in many of the categories. This is the PSC directed way to make this entry, so.
So the variance decreases over time?
When we get to December for a year-end entry, we'll be closer to that $70,000. But right now, we're higher than expenses will be adjusted, that difference. So that's why in some categories, we're getting close or even over. In a couple, like customer accounts expense, we're over budget at this point in the year, but at the end of the year, we'll be reducing those expenses for that sewer allocation.
Well, that was my next question.
Okay.
Customer account expense.
Mhm.
Okay. The other thing that kind of surprised me, if I look at your charts, sales of water by category, irrigation looks almost stable for the 2 years. I would have said this year, with it being so wet, that it would have been diminished.
It's up a little bit this year. I mean, it's up about $15,000. It's really, you can't really see that in the chart part of it, but if you look at the actual financial statement, through August, we had 196,000 of irrigation sales compared to 180 last year, so.
Yeah, to me it doesn't make
Doesn't
any
make
sense
sense.
either, but if the people in my neighborhood, whether it's raining or not, they still let their sprinklers run.
Sprinklers are going.
Yeah. I mean, it could have just had a shower and then people will still run them.
I see a lot of commercial facilities, have timers set and it doesn't make any difference.
Nobody follows up with it. Okay, accounts payable. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Fine, I think we're supposed to ask all the questions we can, so. That's why we're here, I guess. The next one is a review of accounts payable.
I had a question on that too. We've written a check to NewPage for their deposit. And concurrently, we're being stiffed for several fold that. Is there not a legal way to?
We had, before the bankruptcy proceedings, we had about $50,000 deposit from NewPage. We're in the midst of collecting, 2 months that we needed. When the bankruptcy happened, we negotiated the additional $40,500. They considered it additional assurance until they got through bankruptcy proceedings, at which time we had to, according to the agreement, we had to return that $40,500. So as of right now, there's about $37,000 outstanding for water that we're probably not going to collect a very high percentage on. The attorneys were looking into when they expect, we're going to be getting that money. They thought it was going to be in the next couple of weeks. So the time frame's a little bit sooner than we initially anticipated. But yeah, unfortunately, we had to give back that $40,000.
No legal way to capture it.
There's no legal way to capture that. However, we do have the ability, if they are late going forward on any of their utility bills, we have the ability to collect more of a deposit from them. And we're definitely watching that account.
But
Bankruptcy law is a wonderful thing for them.
yeah, they turn us into the judge. Now, we do have a down payment from Versa, I take it.
Commercial?
Yeah, for the new owners.
It's still the same
It's the same.
Corporation?
It's the same corporation?
Right, they just call themselves Verso, even though their filed papers say new page.
Okay, but there's still, do we have any leverage with prepayment?
No, we don't. I mean, we've got, like I said, we got about a $50,000 deposit on them right now, and if they are late going forward, we have the ability under PSC code to request additional deposit, which we will do if they are late.
So you're saying we do have 50,000?
We do have about 50,000
Okay,
right
that
now.
was my question. Yeah,
Initially, we thought we were gonna have to provide them that 50,000 back as well, but we got clarification from the attorneys on that we could go ahead and keep it, so.
yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, if you look at the legal entities, you know, they've got everything separated off, a piece here, a piece there, to limit their liability. So they still carry the new page structure in Wisconsin for all of different entities.
And I believe our accounts are actually New Page Wisconsin Systems Inc. is the
Yeah.
subsidiary under New Page, which is
So-
another corporation.
Are you saying that's like an LLC for every little,
You got it.
I'm saying like, I don't know if it is an LLC.
Yes, I think it is.
It is, okay. Yeah, that's another nice law. The only thing I saw in here, R&M Solutions, AMI server, data storage, virtual environment or something, 84,000, I take it that's what we were talking about?
Yes, that was
Is that
the project,
right there?
that's the one I just finished up.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a budgeted 2016 expense.
Okay.
Which was, two of our servers were out of date. We had to upgrade the phone server and...
No, phone server's coming up next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, this was just, there's 3 servers in a virtual environment, we replaced all 3. That's what
Okay,
it is.
the phone has something to do with the AMI, I take it.
No,
No.
That's-
no, that's separate.
Does anybody else have anything? If not, would somebody like to adjourn?
So moved.
I think Joe made the motion to adjourn and John did. And I think Joe second. Okay. Thank you.